What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got a new little surprise here. This is a cool little tube here. It's called a Selentium 22LR suppressor. So in today's video, we're going to try it out for the very first time with a few different kinds of ammunition. And let's give you guys an in-depth review at this modular suppressor, because if you don't like it this long, you can just take off some baffles and they just unscrew just like that. So let's have a look at it. All right, so taking a deeper look at this, it comes in this plastic little box like that opens up like that. They give you this cool little, basic little suppressor assembly instructions, which basically goes over all of the baffles and stuff. And I can put this picture here in the video for you. But I actually looked at this before I bought it, because you can search for this online. And why I was interested is because I wanted to know how big this diameter is and if it was going to cover up my sights. After looking at this, which gives you clear dimensions on here, it actually shows that it's going to fit perfectly. So we're going to try that out today. So let's look at this a little bit deeper here. So on this end here, this is where it screws onto the barrel. That is a 3/4 inch socket. So if you want to crank her down like that, you can just put a 3/4 inch socket on there. And then this is the first, let me get this off. It's got a lot of threads here, so it takes a little bit of time to unscrew it. This first piece here just screws onto the barrel, but there's no baffle in here. So there's no suppressive activity here. The first baffle is this one here with the marking Selentium ink, and it's Roseman, Montana. It's the MG22 model 22LR and the serial number. So this is your very first baffle. Now I suppose you can screw this into other parts of the baffle, but why do that? I always just leave it at the end. You can have two baffles, put that on there like that, and this could be small suppressor like that, or you could, so there's the smallest suppressor that you could make right there. So that's probably 2 inches. We'll try that out. I don't know how this video is going to go. You know, I think maybe I'll try changing to different baffles, or how many baffles I have on the whole thing. And I have a lot of ammunition here. I don't know if I think I'll try to do some accuracy tests as well to see how much accuracy is affected by the suppressor at different lengths. And I also want to obviously get a few chronograph readings on some of these different types of ammunition. So I think it comes with 9 different baffles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I counted 10, but that's including the very first one here with the markings on it. Now if you over tighten these, each one of these baffles has a hex shape on there, so you could use a wrench or something and really over tighten. But if you do that, you're not going to be able to undo it by your hand. So you probably have a really hard time trying to clean this or open it up and clean it. So be careful with that. I'm going to try it a little bit with hand tightening. It should be okay, but don't over tighten that, because I have already had problems where I couldn't get that undone at home. Okay, so we have some supersonic ammunition. This is a Winchester 22 long rifle, 36 grain, 1,280 feet per second, it says. It's a hollow point, you know, made for varmint, small game, target plinkings, things like that. Then all of these over here are suppressive ammunition. This is the Federal American Eagle. I really like this because I use this for competition, very, very light recoiling, but I've never tried it with a suppressor. And it does say suppressor. It's a 45 grain, and it says it's 970 feet per second on the velocity there. Then I've got this CCI Quiet 22 semi-auto 22LR for target, and it's 45 grain as well, and says that it is 835 feet per second. And then this is also CCI Quiet 22, but is not mentioned on here semi-auto, so it's probably more or less rated for bolt action guns. But we're going to see if it cycles with a semi-auto with a suppressor, because it's a lower grain bullet, and it goes 710 feet per second, which is even slower. This one I've had stored for a while. I've never used it with a suppressor before, but this is a Aguila subsonic, and it's one of the fastest ones, 1,025 feet per second. So we'll see which one's maybe the quietest and which one runs the best out of this Ruger Mark IV 22/45. So let's go ahead and put the suppressor on here. Obviously take off your thread protector or compensator, whatever you had on there, just screw it on there. This fits perfectly without any kind of adapters, which is great. And as you can see, the suppressor does not interfere with your fiber optic sight. It's actually pretty much the same diameter as the outside of this upper here on the Ruger Mark IV 22/45 Lite. All right, so actually I went ahead and just removed the suppressor again, because I wanted to quickly get a few shots here, 5 shots maybe, of the velocity and basically how loud does this sound without the suppressor. So let's take a look at it. So we got the Winchester, the supersonic, actually 36 grain here, no suppressor, and let's see how fast the velocity is out of these 5-round group. 1,014. 1,037. And one of them did not even register, so still got one in the chamber, so be careful. I'm going to put another one in here to top it off. And all right, so the average there Let's see. It's actually not the most consistent ammunition, as you can see. Maybe you can see the bar graph is not so close together. I was getting higher and higher velocity each time I was shooting it. And let's see, let's go quickly here on the average here. Average is 1,053. And just in case you guys wanted to know some details, it is a little chilly out here, 59 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's been raining a little bit, 71% humidity. But yeah, I wasn't too far away from that, but just in case you guys want to know what the temperature and humidity are. Not too bad. Let's go ahead and do another shot test here. We'll just do all of them real quick. Empty this. Okay, the next one here we'll do the Federal American Eagle, 45 grain, unsuppressed, no suppressor. By the way, the advertised velocity on this Winchester ammunition is 1,280 feet per second. So I was getting way less than that, 200 feet per second less basically out of I think this is a 4 or 5 inch barrel or something like that. So I wonder what they tested that out of. Could have been a rifle or something. But in any case, this Federal American Eagle suppressor rated, it says it is 970 feet per second. So let's see what it's like without a suppressor, how loud it is and how fast it is. 824, okay, so it's 970 rated, so it's a lot less than that. Oh, okay, 788 is very low. 5 shots. But yeah, okay, so it's less. I mean, obviously, maybe they tested this also out of a rifle length barrel, but I'm not mad about it because I use that ammunition in competition. So if it's less than the rated velocity, great. But if you want what it's rated for, then obviously you're probably not going to be happy because I'm actually getting, on average, 812, so over 100 feet per second slower than what was advertised. Okay, now Quiet 22 semi-auto version, 835 feet per second it says, out of a 45 grain bullet. Same grain weight as the Federal American Eagle, but rated as slower. So let's see if we actually get even slower than what was advertised on the American Eagle. So here we go. 746 and a failure. What was going on there? Just didn't eject. Says semi-auto. Let's see if it actually ejects this time. Nope, got a stovepipe. Maybe I need to oil it. Haven't used this gun in a while. But I know this runs flawlessly. I've used it in competition many times. Okay, that one ejected. 770. 757. And 761. So definitely put some lube in there before we get started on the suppressor. So this is only going 759. So it says it would be 835. It's going even slower. Happy about that even. But again, if you need something faster or rated, then maybe you want to use a rifle. All right, let's go with the Quiet 22 again, but this time doesn't say semi-auto. I'm assuming it's for bolt action. Let's see if it still cycles though. Now this is actually a 40 grain bullet. The other two previously were 45 grain, and then the very fast supersonic one was a 36 grain. So it's interesting that this is a little bit lighter grain bullet, and it's supposed to even go, I think it's even supposed to go slower. 710 feet per second it's rated for. So let's see if it cycles out of a semi-automatic pistol here. If it says 710, maybe I'm even going to be in the 600s. Let's see. 591, wow. Okay, maybe that's true. Not rated for semi-autos. Did not eject. That's 2 shots. I'm gonna see if I can try to get it eject, meaning I'm gonna go ahead and put some lube in it just to see if that'll help it. All right, I got a little extra Slip 2000, and if you want some Slip 2000, take a look at the description and you'll get a nice coupon code in there for, I think it's 25% off. So anyway, it feels a lot smoother. Let's see if it actually runs smoother now with a lot more lube. I don't think it ejected. Nope. And that was 631 feet per second. Let's see what this is. I'm really going to hold it tight to maybe hopefully get that slide to go back, or the bolt. 590 feet per second. All right, no matter what, that ammo does not make a semi-automatic cycle, which you can't blame the ammo. They specifically tell you that, right? So in any case, the bolt action doesn't work at semi-auto. It's going too slow. You are actually going, let's see, on average, 607 feet per second. The maximum was 631, and the slowest was 590 feet per second. So yeah, you're not going very fast with that ammunition. So it's, you get 1 shot probably out of a suppressor, be even quieter than probably the rest, but we'll try that out and verify. Okay, now we've got the Aguila subsonic. So 5 shots with the Aguila subsonic. I'm not sure if this will cycle. I usually don't have good luck with Aguila in this gun, but it's not rated for bolt action. Let's see what happens with 5 shot average here. 828. So it is slower. It says 1050 on the box, already way slower. And it probably tested out of a rifle. And for some reason, that also didn't cycle, which is weird. 830 feet per second, 828 should make it cycle. Let's see. But as I know, Aguila, like I said, doesn't really cycle good out of this gun. I do not know why. There we go. It did not cycle as well. So none of those cycled, but we were in the 800s on the velocity here. On average, we were getting 859. So, okay, we're gonna compile all that information later. We're gonna do all that information later in the video. You just go ahead into the timeline if you wanna see that data real quick. But let's go ahead and finish this up now with the suppressor, full length on all of them, even the supersonic. Make sure you are clear, by the way. I think we'll do all 5 with the suppressor, and then pick one, or the best sounding one, or the quietest one, and just do the various different lengths of the suppressor, okay? I'm gonna do this without my hearing protection on, just to kind of get a better gauge or an idea of how this all sounds. And oh, like I said, we might as well do the velocity measurements too to see how they are affected with the suppressor on this gun here. So, all right, now again, this is supersonic ammunition. It says 1280, we were getting about 1,000. Which, let's double check actually. With no suppressor, we were already kind of in the subsonic range anyway. 1083 was the highest one I got, and we were in average, you know, less than that. So this should probably still sound subsonic, even though it's rated for supersonic ammunition. So yeah, always chrono your at 22 ammunition. You know, you can maybe buy supersonic ammunition that is still lower than, you know, 1050 feet per second or whatever the subsonic speed is, and maybe get by with that even too. So let's go, 5 shots, supersonic ammunition out of the suppressor. We'll see if it sounds subsonic. Oh, you gotta close your bolt, guys. Sounds very quiet, and it's 1084. Okay, seems like we got more velocity out of that one this time. Let's see what happens when we finish it off. So interesting. I think I did hear that you do increase velocity out of a suppressor, and this time we got an average of 1075, whereas before with no suppressor, we had an average of 1053. So about 25 feet per second more out of a suppressor here with the supersonic ammunition. So all of those, let's see, all of those were technically faster than the speed of sound. You did hear the crack, but it wasn't as loud as without a suppressor, even with supersonic ammunition. So now let's go ahead and load up one of my favorites that I usually always like to use, especially in competition, is the Federal American Eagle with a suppressor, 45 grain. Says it's going at 970 feet per second advertised, but as you know, if you remember, we were getting slower than that in the 800s. So now let's see how quiet this one is and how fast it is with a suppressor. Well, it sounds a little bit quieter. 811 feet per second. Error. We're gonna put another one in there. 849. 830. We're out, but we need to do one more because we only had 4 shots. Which is interesting with suppressors, you know, they're supposed to make things quieter, and so if you're trying to make it quieter, you want it to go slower, right? And so, in effect, the suppressor makes it go faster, but it's weird like how it works, but contradicts each other. Last shot here. 866. So on average, we got 834 feet per second, and with no suppressor, we were getting 812. So again, about 25 feet per second more. So I guess the suppressor at this length will give you 25 feet per second more on the velocity here. So now let's try the CCI semi-auto with a suppressor. All right, here we go. CCI suppressor ammunition. Quiet, semi-22, quiet, and it's supposed to work with the semi-automatic here. Let's see what it's like with the suppressor. Oh my gosh, 866, but I heard a... Okay, that's the first time I heard it. Let's see if I hear it again. Not that time. 866. 758, 748, 769, everything cycled flawlessly. I only had 3 that registered. Okay guys, we gotta go a couple more. That's no big deal for me. I don't mind shooting more, but let's hopefully get a couple more here on the data. 787 and 760. All right, on average, with the CCI semi-auto version, we got 764 with a suppressor, and without the suppressor, we got 759. So we go up a little bit as well. That sounded really, really quiet, guys. What do you think? All right, let's go ahead and do now the CCI Quiet 22LR non-semi-auto, so bolt action, I suppose. I always say I suppose because it never specifically said it on the box. I think it does say on the website, so I'll just say bolt action then. Okay guys, CCI Quiet 22 bolt action kind here. It's gonna be really slow and not eject, but let's see what it sounds like. Yeah, that's even quieter. 629. 629 again. 629 again. 633. I can really like hear the bullet impacting the dirt, like thump, thump. It's pretty neat with the suppressor. So that was super quiet. It's probably the quietest one actually. Okay, on average with the suppressor 627. Without a suppressor, we're getting 607. So again, 20 feet per second exactly more. So with the suppressor, we're seeing that we are getting faster velocities already. Let's do the last one here, the Aguila. All right. This one is supposed to be, I guess, one of the fastest ones of the batch. So let's see what happens. And yeah, this one's not going to cycle either for some reason, probably. So let's see what happens. That sounds quiet. 860 doesn't eject, of course. That one did eject. All right, 903. That was faster for some reason. 868. That was the last one. Did I get 5 shots? Yep. All right. So on average, 869 with no suppressor. 859. We're getting like exactly. Okay, that was 10 feet, 10 feet per second more. But put all of that data up there to visually see that on the graph. So that's much better. So what did you guys think was the quietest one? It's probably hard to hear on a microphone like this and hard to see it in person. I think that Aguila really was really quiet, and also the quiet 22LR from CCI, the bolt action kind. However, you know, those weren't so practical because they didn't cycle really good out of the gun here. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is we'll do the accuracy test as well with and without the suppressor and different baffle lengths on this semi-auto quiet 22, because you know this one worked the best, or I think was quieter than the Federal and worked the best as well. So I don't know, we'll see what we got here because I don't have much ammo left of it. If not, maybe we'll have to do a mixture of both of these because you know they both sounded pretty comparable. Okay guys, suppressor shooting a little bit more. It does feel a little bit warm. Doesn't seem like it got too hot, but I didn't really shoot it all that much real fast. So let's go ahead and do the accuracy test. We're about 10 yards here, full length suppressor here. We'll do 3 shots and I'll just aim at some of these circles here and let's see how accurate it is with the suppressor, if I have to make any holds, and then we'll do it without the suppressor to see how much improvement or no improvement there is. Three shot there. Okay, now we'll try the CCI. All right, let's go take a look at it, guys. With a suppressor, here's my shooting for about 10 yards. Federal American Eagle, CCI. Got one real close to the bullseye here. 2 shots here. The third one was down here. I don't know if I'd count that or not. If it was me, you know, or if that's actually the ammo. It's probably me, pulled it or whatever. These 3 here look pretty good. So suppressor right here. Let's go ahead and make this one with no suppressor and see if it changed or improved any of the accuracy with both of those types of ammunition. All right, here we go. 40 grain Federal American Eagle, no suppressor this time. We're just checking to see how the accuracy differs with and without the suppressor. So middle target here. Okay, that's loud. I got so used to shooting with the suppressor. Okay, there's 3 shots there. CCI, bottom target, CCI semi-auto, quiet 22. All right, we're gonna be surprised with these results, maybe. We'll see, I don't know. This is what I got. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't really know what that means. This was the Federal, this was the CCI. Probably me here anyway, but maybe in general, Federal is not maybe the best accurate ammo for me. But the CCI, I got really good here. These are 3-inch circles here. That's at least an inch group here. That one was a suppressor without a suppressor. I don't really notice too much of a difference. Maybe up here you do. I don't really know what to say with this other than not really much of a difference between with and without a suppressor on the pistol here. So that's what you get. No difference maybe on my end, or no conclusive evidence, but you know, I do like shooting with the suppressor a lot more. All right guys, so I would really like to start, you know, taking some baffles off and shortening this just to see what it would sound like. Now, I don't know how good that's going to help me out if I just do 1 shot each, because you know, when you have made that first shot, usually your consecutive shots are a lot quieter. So maybe I need to take 2 tests just to kind of get a really good measurement of each ammunition through each baffle here. So we've got, you know, we got 1 baffle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, And we already did this 10th one, right? Because we all know what this sounds like. So 9 times 2, I need at least 18 rounds of each. Let's go ahead and do that on camera and let's see what happens, okay? And compare the results. I think we'll try to just do maybe both the CCI semi-auto and the Federal side by side just to see what they both sound like. Since for me, I think that CCI quiet ammo is a little tad quieter than the Federal American Eagle, and it is going slower. I think we'll just go ahead and do that test with this suppressor removing the baffles, okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and put this back on. There's like 10 baffles on here, but I think every time I look at the listing or something, it says 9. So maybe it doesn't count this one with the serial number as a first baffle or something like that. But okay, let's go ahead and we're gonna take off one because we've already listened to what it sounds like with all the baffles on it, right? And you know, what's really great about the suppressor is even at its full length, it doesn't feel too heavy or too awkward or like, you know, in the way or anything. So who knows what other advantages there might be for reducing this based on the size factor. But yeah, let's go ahead and try it. We've just removed one baffle. Maybe I'll just show you guys how this baffle looks after, how many rounds have we shot? 10? At least 65 or so, right? So after 65 rounds, this is pretty much, I guess, how dirty that 22 ammunition gets. What's really nice about this suppressor, by the way, is that it is listed as a very durable one where you can just take a knife and start scraping that off if you want. But yeah, that doesn't get super dirty. Put that in my pocket real quick. All right, so now we've got one last baffle. Let's go ahead and then throw in CCI. We'll do 2 shots with this so that we can kind of accommodate for that first round, getting the gas build up here, and see if the consecutive shot is even quieter. Yeah. So this is the smallest the suppressor can be. Just the original baffle, the very first one with the serial number on it, with the end cap on it. So there you guys have it. I think I'll do it, you know, as the suppressor is getting smaller, and then go backwards as the suppressor is getting longer or whatever, and just we can kind of really hear the difference between each baffle and the progressive loudness or softness of that. All right, guys, what did you think of that video? I think that concludes the fun with the suppressor today. What did you guys think about that? So, you know, in general, I think this is a very nice suppressor. It's very quiet. I mean, I don't really have too much to compare to since I haven't had any other 22 suppressors, but you know, the suppressor is a very nice one. We'll see how it is when we need to clean it, but you know, it didn't get too dirty after like 80 shots or so. And what's really nice is that all of these baffles here, you can really customize the different lengths or size that you really want or need, you know. So for a pistol, if the full length is just too much for you, even though it is the quietest setting, you know, you can always shorten it down, and I hopefully gave you guys enough information of how much to shorten it down by based on the different sound levels or signatures that you can hear from each baffle. Additionally, I did notice that you do get a little bit more velocity, maybe 20 to 25 feet per second additional on every little shot there. We tested that with each of these ammunitions, and it's all pretty consistent about how much velocity gain that you're going to get. Now, whether you want that or not, it's up to you. As far as accuracy goes, you're not really going to gain or lose much accuracy, if any accuracy at all, when you're using this suppressor here. Now, this suppressor has the ability to put a wipe at the end of the cap here. Unfortunately, it didn't come with a wipe. I thought it would, but if you added that, I'm sure that it'd be a little bit quieter even, and this instruction manual or assembly instructions will actually tell you where to get a wipe from. And so the wipe actually mentions that you get it from, you know, McMaster car, material number 5787T63, and the cutter, you can get a cutter to cut your hole or whatever, to make it fit the end of the suppressor is 3427A17. Again, I put this in the video for you guys, but you can also find it online, the instruction manual. But yeah, I didn't have that, so now you at least know what it sounds like without the cap, and if you want to get a cap or a wipe, sorry, a cap wipe, whatever, but you can also make your own, I've seen. But anyway, very good suppressor. I'm very impressed with it, actually. It shoots really nice. It balances really well with the Ruger 22/45 Light. Now, I wish that I had threaded barrels on my 1022 or other 22LR rifles, which I don't. I'm just gonna have to think about if I need to get a new barrel or want to get a new barrel, or thread it myself, or maybe not myself, but have somebody do it in order to get a little bit more fun out of this suppressor. But in any case, really good suppressor. Maybe it's highly underrated. I don't really see too much about this, but yeah, I'm really happy about this suppressor. Feels good. It's just, you know, the right length here on the pistol here, and so far all good things to say about it. So hope you guys enjoy this video. Sorry if it's a little bit long, but hopefully it gives you enough information about whether you want to pick yourself up one or not. But so far I'm happy with it. We'll see you guys in the next video.